It's the Underpowered Hour. We're away on our holiday break, so enjoy these shorts, and we'll see you in the new year. All right, Ike. Well, it's a quick 5-minute short here, as we are, God knows where we are, somewhere in the wide world of Christmas and holiday travels and things. The mistletoes hung from the ceiling. Have you seen that? The 3D printed toad with a missile on its back?
I have not, but I want one.
You hang the mistletoe. Yeah.
Give me one of those.
I'm a big fan. Yeah, we should do some Underpowered Hour mistletoes. So, yeah. Anyways, so we're going to do these little 5-minute guys for the next couple weeks while we are off on our long-awaited and probably not really deserved break, but this is what we're doing. Yeah, nobody's getting anything done for the next couple of weeks. Liza and I are heading up to Canada. What about you and Jenna? What are you guys doing?
We're working.
Yeah, just straight through. Not leaving that room.
Christmas Day in the workshop welding. Yeah. Definitely. Got to get stuff done.
Make those new gas tanks. Very popular. Very popular.
Try to get them done.
Yeah. No, you got to do it. That's right. Yeah, they're cool. Yeah. Speaking of exotic Land Rover parts, there's a news article we both perused across.
And this affects your vehicle, doesn't it?
It does, actually. Yeah, it does. Well, now I think we're probably okay because we actually took ours off and put it back on correctly. But Land Rover's recalling snorkels.
Snorkel, the raised air intake.
That's right, the raised air intake on the new Defender because they could fly off.
They can fly off. Now, I read this press release, and you know how they described this? They described it as a dimensional tolerance mismatch.
Yes, I thought that was a very clever way to say, and I can tell you exactly what that mismatch is. So they use riv nuts to go into the plastic of the snorkel. And if you've ever had to take one of these snorkels off and you realize how difficult the bolts and everything are to get to, all you have to do is take the snorkel and just rip it off the car and then take the riv nuts off from the other side because they come out of the plastic so easily. All of ours had to be replaced when we took our snorkel off.
It's just aren't set.
They're not set correctly, or they're not quite the right size.
Or the hole is too big for the riv nut.
It's too big for the riv nut. And they're these special little, they like flare out with like 4 little legs. They don't actually have the total circular riv nut. They're a special one just for plastic. And I actually ordered 3 different sizes from McMaster Car because for that bolt size, for that thread size, they actually have 3 dimensions of riv nuts. And as it turns out, the one that I put in was bigger than the Land Rover one that it came with. Now, I thought that was because when it came out, maybe it had elongated the hole or something. As it turns out, I don't think so. I think they just used the wrong size for the plastic hole.
Wrong size riv nut. Yeah. Well, dimensional tolerance mismatch is another way of saying doesn't fucking fit.
Dimensional tolerance mismatch is also my favorite punk band. So
those guys are great.
Yeah, those guys are great. They're real good.
So what happens when it just comes off the car?
Literally falls off of the car. Now it's held on at the top by one little bolt and bracket. The problem is the little bracket is friction fit. So once the bolts, the 3 bolts, and there are only 3 bolts that hold this onto the car. Once those come out, there's literally nothing holding it onto the car except a little friction fit thing at the top. So theoretically, it could fly in traffic, hit somebody. It has quite a bit of wind resistance, right? Because it sits out to the side. So there's a good amount of force being put on it at highway speed.
If you have had a Defender snorkel come through your windshield of your vehicle, please contact us.
At the Defender Legal Fund, Defender Snorkel Legal. Exactly. But I would suggest, if you have the factory snorkel, it is probably worth taking it off, even if your riv nuts are all solid, because it's actually not sealed very well to the side of the body. Okay. We actually found that when we took ours off, there's the weather stripping that actually seals it onto the side of the car. Because there's no bolt at the front of the snorkel, they're only along the edge of the door. Front is able to flex out quite a bit, so much so that dirt and water and things can just get right past it into the intake. So when we put ours back on, we put a much thicker gasket material all the way around the intake and really squished it on there. And it is now sealed. You could actually notice a difference in that you felt air being drawn in from the top stronger once we did that. So there was obviously some air being drawn in around the snorkel.
Now, is this a wading snorkel? Or
No, it is
dust.
Yes, specifically they say it isn't for water egress at all, or ingress. It won't prevent that. But it's also, I think, above the wading depth of the car, because I think the car's wading depth is like just below the door handle, and the snorkel sits just above that or something. Or anyways, it's meant for dust, but it also isn't sealed well enough to keep dust out, or it may just fall right off. So,
well, there you go. That's how to fix your Defender snorkel. I guess you can take it to the dealer. It's a recall.
You can take it to the dealer. There is a recall. They, I guess, will take it off.
But you could actually do a better job if you
and I suggest you do. I mean, the bolts from McMaster Car are a couple of bucks. Get some weather stripping from the Lowe's or your local Home Depot, and then just stick that sucker back on. Now, if you're interested this holiday season in learning how to do that, we have a YouTube video where Liza and I take our snorkel off and replace it on our Defender. Yeah. And man, is it fun! Now the factory repair manual bulletin tells you to take the driver's side door off of the car. Yeah. So you can get to the bolts. You don't actually need to do that, thankfully. Our good friend Travis and the gang over there at Lucky 8 also have a good video on removing it. But it is possible to remove it, but you need Liza-size hands. You need to be a tiny person to do it. I can't do it. You or I or Linus would not be able to do it, but Liza
Good thing. Well, there you have it.
Yeah, I have never had a vintage Land Rover snorkel fall off of my Land Rover.
No, those are securely bolted to the side of the vehicle, and the brackets are welded to the upright.
That's right.
Like the raised air pipe. So it would not come off. In fact, I think you could probably use it as a recovery point.
That's true. And I'm sure someone has. So, with that, we'll wrap up for this little 5-minute delicious little bite of your second favorite Land Rover podcast. And we'll talk to you. We'll talk to you on the next little 5-minute bite. Who knows where we are in the world right now? We could be dead. It's tough to say. All right.
Until the next little present.
See you then.
See you then.